this is Paul Dennies. I'm Director of Industry Solutions for Manufacturing at Oracle. Today we're going to talk about anything as a service and the role that software plays in enabling this service transformation. So in the industry right now, we're seeing companies switching from product-centric business models to service-centric business models. These companies are trying to change, take advantage of smart technologies and enhance their service components of their offerings. In doing that, right, what they are doing is that they are responding to the change in customer expectations. I know that we all see this out just in our everyday lives, at how everything that we're used to buying everything as a product has now changed. I mean, the biggest example that I like to use is music. So we used to buy music, we used to buy as many CDs as we can. Everybody was proud of their CD collections, right? You have the right music, you have all your music at home, perfect, and you can listen to it when you're at home on your CD player. That's completely changed. The way consumers are buying music right now is they want any music, anytime, on any device. So that's how Spotify and other music services like Pandora have changed the way we listen to music, right? So they've gone from, that's where a certain market has gone from product-centric to service-centric. The only thing we care about now is that we have whatever music we want at the time we want to listen to it, wherever we are on any device, right? So that's the idea of a company moving to a service-centric business model that is completely set up to satisfy their customers, right? So that movement, we see that happening. You see that happening in all industries. The consumer industry is probably the place that we all see it the most, but we see this in high-tech manufacturing. We also see this in industrial manufacturing. I think high-tech is probably farther along in their offerings, but industrial is catching up. You can just look at jet engine manufacturers to see that. It used to be they sold their jet engines. Now they are selling a service on that jet engine, right? So they're not selling the engine, but they're selling an outcome. And that outcome being the performance of that engine, or maybe the miles per gallon on that engine. Same thing is happening. We're going to start happening across the board. Auto industries, we see Volvo now offering a car completely as a service. I hear other crazy stories happening. I hear certain airplane manufacturers are now going to change. Instead of buying airplanes, you're going to buy them as a service. So this trend is happening. This change in the business model is invasive across all industries. And what we're seeing, what we're seeing is that the companies that are making this change are reaping the financial benefits from it. So let's go on here a little bit. So we talked about this a little bit. This business model change to anything as a service, it's to meet the customer's demand. I talked about how in the consumer market, consumers are now looking for outcomes rather than the products themselves. This is propagating, right? And you're going to see this propagate even further. So the big thing is, in meeting these customers' demand, these subscription companies are outperforming their product-based peers. But this is a full transformation for a company, right? As they go from product-centric to service-centric, right? They're moving from a transactional service component to a service-centric component. And each company, this journey is different. For maybe a digital company, they might already have anything as a service and SaaS solutions, but now they're going to move to a platform solution where they're combining their product with other products and providing a full platform for the end user, right? So that they can give them the right outcome and give them the right services. But if you go to maybe an large industrial manufacturer, they might not be there yet. So their service component might be very reactive today, and their move is to go to a preventative service or a predictive service. That's their first move. And then as they embed sensors into these hardware components, they can start offering software components on top of that, right? Where they can start offering more anything as a service solutions, web-based solutions, or software-based solutions, right? As they do this, they're moving from left to right on the screen, and their percent of service revenue is increasing. So as you can tell, this service transformation is pretty intensive. It goes across all aspects of a company's business model, from offer management through customer engagement to subscriptions and contracts, through service management, and then through financials, right? There are going to be changes to everything, the way this company operates, right? So to do this, we talk about, to do a service transformation, it's going to require a new operating model within that company. Okay, if they want to effectively do this, they have to have a new operating model that is centered around the asset, the customer, and the product data, so they understand how the customer is using that, and then they must use that data to define the right offers, to define the right engagement, to give the customers the right service, so they can reap the benefits of that and improve their financial performance. Oracle is unique. We think about this, and we have a multidisciplinary approach with our anything as a service solution, where we combine all aspects of offer lifecycle in the cloud. So let's kind of dive down into the business functions right now. So if we map these business functions into a high-level business process model, you can see that we're talking about offer lifecycle management, lead to cash, which is going to be lead to order, order to shipment, and subscription to cash, and then service management, service logistics, field service execution, and customer success. All of this needs to be on a uniform financial performance management system. You need to be able to quickly figure out what your revenue is and which offers are performing better than other offers. When you make this change to anything as a service model or a service-centric model, you're going to see that the speed of your business dramatically increases. In a product-centric business, you're looking at product revisions maybe once a year or once every 2 years. When you move to a service-centric, where you've now embedded sensors into these hardware components, and you're more software-centric in your offers, with software, you're able to do offers maybe quarterly, right? So you're going to do updates to your product quarterly now, which means you can update offers quarterly. So the number of offers that you need to manage and the speed of the offers is going to be drastically different. Your system, this is why we say you need a new operating model, because your systems must be able to perform at that speed. And that's why we're talking about an integrated system across all these different business functions to support the business model. So at Oracle, we talk about our anything as a service integrated platform, where we integrate all components from ID8 all the way to service management and financial performance management across the entire product lifecycle or offer lifecycle, right? And we think a key component of this new operating model is a unified product record, right? as well as a unified financial performance, where you can get the financial performance and impact from each of the different business process on a unified product record across. It saves on integrations, it improves your time to market, right? And then the key piece, which we're about to go talk about now, is you must integrate the information from the usage data or the asset data into this so that you can fully monetize how people are using your hardware or software. So let's shift gears a little bit. So we talked about anything as a service, the business drivers and the impact to your company, right? And how you need an integrated solution to manage that piece. But now let's dig a little deeper. I talked a little bit about how the software components are going to be increasing now. So you might have been a product-centric or a hardware company, but now all of a sudden, as you embed those sensors, right, you need software to read those sensors. You need analytics. You need analytics to make sense of the data, right? You're going to have reporting in place so that the end user can see how they're using the software. You could create new software services where you're selling analytics back to the end user on how the hardware is performing and how their contracts are being managed, right? So what's happening is a lot of these traditional product-centric companies are now becoming software companies, or a big portion of their engineering now has software. So we want to talk a little bit about the operationalizing of this anything as a service business model and talk about the components you need to do that. I have some stats here. Excuse me. You know, Honeywell, one of the big manufacturers out there, 50% are now software engineers. We see this trend going up everywhere, right? And we see it accelerating, and they'll tell you that the pandemic has accelerated this digital transformation. The pandemic has drastically changed how people are buying products, which means that these hardware companies are transitioning and adding more software into their offers, right, to be able to serve their customer base. So what we talk about is enabling digital product services, or enabling the operational components of this anything as a service business model, right? So what we want to talk about here, as the products are becoming smarter, the software components are getting embedded, and there's going to be drastically more of them. So because of that, you're going to need self-service user portals or used to sell and manage the products and services, right? And then you're going to be able to combine software-based applications with your hardware and define different offers that can help you monetize better. So this is where I say the number is going to be drastically increased, because instead of just offering hardware now, you're going to offer hardware with a portal, with data analysis capabilities, and then based on the different usage model, you're going to give them options to do different things with the hardware. So because Oracle Cloud has this multidisciplinary capability and has the ability to have SaaS products to help you innovate and monetize, right? We also have OCI infrastructure components that will enable you to operationalize, right? So we have DevOps software. So the pieces that we think you need to have, you need to be able to model your digital products and justify it. So that's in your innovation stage. In your operationalized stage, you need software DevOps components. You need to be configure, build, develop, deploy, provision, and monitor the software, right? So that's part of the ecosystem. There also you need connection to the ecosystem, because there are a lot of different partners at play within the DevOps piece. And then the commercialize and monetize, it's the commerce, market intelligence, promotion, subscription and billing, customer success, and all of this is tied down to the user. So the commercial and monetize piece becomes Oracle's SaaS products, while the operationalized become our infrastructure products that we can have. And of course, all this has to be collaborative. In the DevOps area, you have an ecosystem of different product software development systems that you need to bring into your DevOps. And then when you do your commercialize and monetize, you're going to have partners. So if you get into a platform enablement system where it's your software plus 3 other software companies, you're going to need to be able to collaborate and quickly understand what you need to do there. So when so this is how we represent it. This is kind of a structural diagram of everything Oracle offers to help you. So we talk about innovate, commercialize, and monetize with our offer management, marketing and sales, recurring revenue management, and customer success products that we have out there. You can see we list all the different SaaS products that we have. Then we have integrated services to our infrastructure components that you can use to operationalize the data and the integration to the user information to enhance the way you monetize the systems. And all of this, we have our core infrastructure that supports it, from governance, security, observability, storage, compute, and networking. So the way Oracle looks at it is that with our solutions, we have this unique approach where we combine all aspects of your offer lifecycle management in the cloud. Right? From the innovate, commercialize, and monetize, as well as the operationalize. And this is how we can help you as you move to this new business model of anything as a service and have to enhance your software development components as you move forward. Thank you very much.